open the meeting for the February Shorewood Park Sanitary District meeting. We'll start with roll call, and I am Rich Stork, and I am the chair.
Matt Anderson, board member.
I'm Dean Fundell, treasurer.
Al Powers.
Sue Means, member. Tina Heidelberg, clerk.
Very good. Next line of business. Everybody had a copy of the unapproved minutes from January 9th. Hopefully I've taken a look at it. I'm looking for a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So the January 9th minutes are approved. That was easy. All right, wastewater update. Terry and I had a busy month this month, a lot going on. I'm going to start off with the plowing agreement. We've only had 2 or 3 minor snow plowing events. I think they've been around the neighborhood a couple times. They've been really just concentrating on Shorewood Drive. But during one of those snow events, towards the end of last month, one of our residents at 50704, I think it's Lakeview Drive, that's the dead end down by our pump house. They weren't quite happy with where they left the snow. I did get a hold of the township and the contractor. They wanted to have a meet there and decide how to take care of it after I met with Jim Bush, and he kind of gave us some suggestions on where to put the snow that'll help him out. Things have kind of changed down in that area a little bit. There's a new resident there. There's more equipment, more stuff, camper, so on and so forth. So even as tight as that area is, as tough it is, it's really tight now. So Al and myself went down and met a couple gentlemen from the township, and we had a conversation and kind of, relayed out the expectations of what we're hoping the township provides. The contractor, he'll do his best to get the snow where he can, depending on the amount of snow. But it's going to be really put the snow there the first time. He's got to get around and plow anything. And then if he has to return to clear the snow out, move the snow out, do whatever we need him to do, he will do that with a phone call. So I don't think there's any other way to really deal with that dead end down there. I think it's the most diplomatic way to take care of the issue. Al and I had a pretty good conversation with him. I think the conversation went pretty well.
Is that return visit if needed part of the fee?
They will.
Extra.
It would be an extra. Anything extra, they're charging us by the hour regardless.
Oh.
So yeah, any extra snow removal or anything like that would be extra. Hopefully that's the only corner that we kind of have that situation. And like we talked before, it's really, the winter's going to dictate what happens. Last year they would have been here a couple times, removing snow and doing whatever. So that went well. Let's see. Scheduled me with the township. That was Al. That went well. That was Al's first bit of business. I drug him down there with me.
I hope you all know that.
Yep. Follow up on 50590. Basically, during the meeting, as the minutes stated, that's where we had the issue with a lot of the I&I. There was quite a lot of water being dumped into our system. Terry went there and repaired the pipe, and found out that the gas company actually pierced it when they brought the gas lines in a couple years ago. So during the month, me and Terry have been kind of trading back conversations. I reached out to the gas company. I talked to somebody to field a report. Didn't really get anywhere. And Terry and his great personality knows everybody around here. Actually knows the guy that did the work.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
He's always playing with me here. Got a hold of Trav, and he said, "Yeah, send them the bill." So they're going to take care of the bill for the resident. Terry came out with Jones, dug it up. He's going to come back in the spring, take care of the yard down there. It's a little bit of a mess right now, but I did shoot off an email to the Kylos, and they were very, very happy here says, great news, thank you very much, Terry, appreciate it. So, that was a big win for us because there was a lot of influent, being dumped into our system, and I think, Terry's gonna share some news on some of our flow rates that, kind of went down from that. So that was long awaited. We probably should have took care of it sooner than later, but we were really kind of busy. So we've talked about, switching our legal services and assistance. We've had a lot of conversations about it. I've got a couple recommendations to speak to a lawyer over in Pine City. That was Cobback Law. He wasn't really interested. It isn't his type of law that he performs, but he did give me a name of another gentleman in Pine City from Leiden and Hofstede, and that was Kevin Hofstede. He basically does do municipality laws. I think I shared some emails, some conversation going back and forth. You guys probably kept track of what was going on. I did set up an hour meeting with him. It was a phone interview just to see if it was the right fit and to see if he was really interested. His main concern was, he really doesn't like to, meet in person anymore. Doesn't do any, in-court things. Everything that, he'd like to do, he'd like to be able to do from his office or remotely. And I really don't think there's anything else that we need him to do other than shuffle paperwork. He's really interested in working with us. He actually worked with Pokegama and Cross and did the agreement with that association up there with Pine City, so he is kind of aware. He's kind of really interested on how the expansion's going to go. So based on that conversation, he's fine. He'd love to take us on as a new client.
What was his name again?
It's called Leiden and Hofstede. It's out of Pine City, and that's Ledin.
Okay.
And Hofstede is Hofstad. And his name is Kevin Hofstede. So basically what I'm looking for is a motion to go ahead and finalize our legal work with Kelly and Lemons and switch all our new legal work over to Leiden and Hofstede. So I'd like to make the motion to go ahead and do that.
I'll make that motion.
Just a quick question, Rich. He indicated that he's kind of retiring or on the verge of retiring. Is he going to commit to us all the way through?
Yeah, he said he's semi-retired, and basically what that means is he doesn't really want to take on any more clients. He's happy with where he's at, but he'd be happy to take us on.
Awesome. Okay.
So that's what he meant by really semi-retired. So
Okay.
he didn't indicate that he was going to quit in the next couple of months.
Awesome.
I kind of told him what our big goals are here in the next year. He was really, expansion kind of, he's done it before, and he's looking forward to it, basically, is what he said. So.
Oh, nice.
So I guess let's go ahead and move on and look for a motion to terminate with Kelly and Lemons, and reach out to Leiden and Hofstede to take on our legal advice.
Again, I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. And what I'll do is I'll send an email off to Kelly and Lemons, and then once we get the minutes, I'll shoot this over to Kevin and let him know that we're very happy with taking him on. And then what he'll do is he'll reach out to Kelly and Lemons and get our file and all that information brought over to us. There will probably be a cost for that. But I think it needs to be done. I'm not quite sure what that is yet. Here's our files, but I'm sure they'll charge to do copies and all that other kind of stuff. It's basically what it's going to amount to.
Kevin's really good. I've worked with him a lot, so he's way more specialized in what you guys are trying to do during the county meeting.
Mm-hmm.
John's kind of more on the personal stuff. You want a will or you want a simple land transaction or something like that. Kevin's more of the nuts and bolts that he's going to get to take care of. So,
Yeah.
very, very good choice.
Well, he actually came highly recommended from John. John said, call Kevin. This is exactly what he does. So, yeah, we had a great conversation. I don't know, I schmoozed him pretty much. He goes, I was kind of hesitating, but, listening to you, and he actually watched our video. I've heard that a couple times now, that somebody's actually going out there and seeing how we are running our business. And he said, you guys look like you know when you have, pretty good order in what's going on. So he was impressed with that. So that's great. So we'll move forward on that bit of business. The expansion, I'll let Dean kind of take care of some of the expansion stuff, but really what was going on was a lot of emails just kind of kicking back the same kind of conversation, a lot of good talk about it, some, not so good, nothing really negative, but it was really just kind of controlling what was going on in the conversation and trying to just keep everybody focused. There's an expansion meeting this Thursday. One thing that I do want to say about the expansion, I think it's time for all of us to start getting involved with it. So I think we're going to start bringing the expansion meeting, and we'll continue to conduct business with the expansion here from now on. That way all of us can get involved as we start to move forward with it. I think these last couple meetings was just really to rally back up the community down there and the expansion people and start to get them involved. And I think, we do have a good group that's really involved down there now. But I think they should start seeing how this is done because they are part of the sanitary district. And I think we should all be taking care of that business at what time. Because eventually, I would ask you guys to come and it would start ending up as a special meeting and costs and so on and so forth. So I think it's just better we just bring the meeting here.
Sounds good to me.
So I think we'll put that information out from there. One other thing that kind of came with the expansion is I went to the Rush Lake Improvement Association meeting last Saturday or a couple Saturdays ago, the last month one. And Doug and that group, they had an opportunity. There were some grant writing classes that the county was going to give because they're looking for funds and so on and so forth. And I talked to Doug, and he said it was kind of full, but they would try to find a spot for the sanitary district. Kind of came short notice. I reached out to Becky and Dean, and it just didn't work out. Thought it would have been something that, it was basically grant writing 101. Just a way to try to find out how we can get extra grants and so on and so forth. So I'll just kind of keep my ear to the ground and see if that opportunity comes around again. I think it would be great for somebody within the community or the district could attend. It happens during the day. I would have had to leave work, and it just didn't work out. So Becky was going to try to go, but she ended up having another appointment. So I just wanted to bring that up, and there were some conversations coming back and forth, and I think it's something we should try to pay attention to. Over the month, I noticed one of our lights was out. I called East Central Energy. That was on Shorewood Drive, just coming in from the monument right before the circle. Gave them a call. They came in and repaired that right away. They do charge us just a straight fee, even if the lights are on or off. So it's just something that we should try to pay attention to. I was going to ask you, Gina, when they send that bill out for those lights, does it mention how many that we pay for? Because I know some are actually on some people's properties, and they take care of them.
No, it doesn't. This is our bill, and it doesn't really.
There should be something indicating like security lighting. And typically what that is each light costs you like $6 a month. I know TJ, you have one on yours.
That's what I was paying with mine. I had mine disconnected.
Did you?
In the channel.
Okay, so it was like $9 a month.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
Here it is, security light. But this says 55. It says 6 of them.
Okay, so we run 6 of them.
Well, it says 200 HPS outdoor light 6, $8.57, and then LED outdoor light 6, $42.85, and then there's state and county tax on that too. So it totals $55 a month that we pay for.
Okay, so there's how many are LED, and they're cheaper to run the LED ones, right?
Well, they both say that there's 6. I think that this 100 HPS stands for something else.
That's a different type of light. So one's a high pressure sodium,
Oh, okay.
and then one's the rest are LED, and it's cheaper to run LED. So
Sorry.
I'm kidding, the rest of you know.
Yeah, I'm like, I have no idea. I know it's not horsepower.
So-
Yeah, that was why I'm like, that's not right.
And ohms.
I'm gonna take a snapshot of this and I'm gonna call on it.
Okay,
And then let's see if we can't, I mean, if they're running HPS, I'm gonna tell them to go to LEDs because it's just more economical. And we can see if we can tighten that up a little bit. All right, the other news, we've been talking about Midwest assistance program. You know, we've been tossing that around, and I think it really came up when we had our committee together for our bylaws. And I was contacted by them, and they've been approved to provide us assistance. And they provide all kinds of different assistance for wastewater, small wastewater communities, well drilling, you know, fresh water, so on. It might be something else that the well people might want to look at. But they're a nonprofit. They're going to provide a lot of services for us. I think that's a big win for them to be able to come in and assist us. They'll assist us with the expansion, financially, filling out forms, just helping us through that process. So basically, they contacted me. I set up a meeting with them. Terry and I met them, I think it was last Thursday at the pump house. Basically, it was like an interview process. They interviewed Terry, asked him a bunch of questions about, you know, how the system operates, you know, what he does for PM, so on and so forth. You know, then they ran me through a bunch of questions, you know, how we are, our protocols, and you know, how we run our business, so on and so forth. He did take a look at our website, went through our information. We thought it was really good. You know, we're kind of going in the right direction. But there's a lot of things they can help us with our organization to just tighten it up a little bit. Excuse me.
what's the name of them again?
It's called Midwest Assistant Program. And they're funded by a bunch of different grants federally. And so they're a nonprofit. This is what they do. Now, MAP, actually, I don't know if you remember that document I sent out about when the sanitary district
Right.
was formed back in 1992.
Yep.
Well, MAP was the one that helped the sanitary district form originally. So they basically put all the operating stuff together, that big book that we have. That's where Carrie and Tim found that number and reached out to them. So they basically helped form the sanitary district. Based on that documentation, the county ran our sewer system, you know, back in the late 80s and early 90s. And what they did is, with MAP's assistance, they formed a sanitary district, and the county turned everything over to us as an operating entity, and that's how the sanitary district was formed. So basically, what MAP is looking at is it's kind of a reboot, getting us reorganized and getting us caught up to more local time. So he'll be around for a while. We'll be doing different things with him, and we'll keep you updated on that. You know, he's basically going to help oversee what we did with the bylaws, and then kind of help with duties and how we're supposed to perform. He actually, you know, said he'll set up. You know, we'll get together and we'll actually do a meeting and how we should really be conducting meetings. Not that I think we're doing it wrong, but you know, just help us tighten the belt a little bit, and knock the rough edges off. One of the other big things that he'll probably provide for us is, we should have like a risk assessment, emergency response type scenario. You know, if there's a problem, if a pump goes down or some emergency happens, you know, there'll be some steps that, you know, any one of us can pull a book out, and we can, you know, any one of us, if I'm not here or Terry's not available, we have ways to take care of emergencies. So that's another big deliverable that we'll get out of it. So there's a lot of things that they can help with us. So we had that meeting, and then I had another Teams meeting with Chris Ziegler is our representative. That's a name that you're going to hear quite a bit. Chris Ziegler is our guy. I had a meeting with Chris Ziegler and then Tim Corby just to kind of introduce them. We did a Teams meeting. That was a couple days ago, that was Monday, like at 10:30. It was about a half-hour meeting. And that went well because he can take a lot of that form writing and help them with that EPA paperwork.
Yeah.
away from Tim Corby, he'll do it for free, which will reduce the cost of that original $15,000 to $30,000 on that
Good.
original bid. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that he can help us with, plus the financing. So
Great.
we'll be able to utilize him on a lot of forefronts. So that was good news. And I think that was it. That's how busy Richie's been this month.
Haven't had time for your regular job, right?
Yeah, really, bouncing back and forth. So with that, are there any other questions on any of that? All right, I'm gonna move on to our favorite operator, Terry, from LLJ. You're on.
Things are quiet. I bet we're doing a couple things, and our high rate was about 13.85, 850. I think that's the first part of the month, and then the lowest was actually under 7,000, on 6,700.
That is good.
Yeah, that's huge.
Okay, so sorry, was the high rate this month was,
13,850,
and the low was,
6,700.
thank you.
No other maintenance other than
No, it's
what
been-
me and you've been doing?
That's what you and me been doing. I've been down. I don't know if anybody's noticed me down around opening manholes and just looking at stuff. Trying to get my hands wrapped around with more info. I think there's more coming down straight down from the lift station. It was pretty good flowing, and every time I kind of come down at different times all the time so I can see what's going on. And it's that one spot on there, it never changes, it's always the same. And we've been chasing one up on Cross Lake 2 for weekends now. I still haven't found it.
So what you're saying is you think there's some additional I&I coming in?
Yeah.
Are
There's some stuff, but it's actually a considerable amount, so
Mhm.
we have to keep chasing on it and see if we can find it.
Yeah, well, just the one we found made a big
That
difference.
made a
So
huge difference, yeah.
Yeah.
What did I tell you? We figured it was
500 gallons a day is what we reported.
yeah, somewhere around there a day, just wasted.
Extra water, extra stress on our system, which
Yeah.
that costs us money, so. Yeah, we'll just keep chasing down the PMs. Do we have a quarterly coming up pretty soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometime for first March. I'm gonna be gone for a week in March.
Okay.
16th to 23rd for that bottom of the year.
So I think that's our last quarterly before we get into the spring,
Yeah.
moving and shaking. Okay, good. Simple, quiet. That's the way we like it. All right. Any questions on wastewater update? Nice. Financial update.
All right. I apologize, I did not print out the spreadsheet. I can email it to you guys, but, our current checking account balance as of today was $62,185.03. The one thing I wanted to discuss today was we had agreed to take the $10,364.42 that we received from the county as part of the assessments and plan to invest that. So I wanted to find out what our plan is for that. Do you want me to reach out to someone about that? And see what our options are and bring it back to the next meeting?
Well, I think financially, this is something Matt can help us with
Okay,
and give us some suggestions.
okay,
So I think if we pause just another month, and, I think this is a question that we could probably, pose to Chris. And I can give you guys, and I'm gonna just make sure you guys got a copy of his email. But I think that's a question for him. Hey, what are some good ways that we can invest some of our monies? So, again, I think we're gonna lean on this guy now that he's here and he can give us that help.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's the first thing we ask him is, hey, what do you suggest us to do for investment? How we should handle it? What is everybody else doing?
I think a couple options would be money market, but I think they start at 20,000, so we're not there yet. But maybe a CD is an option too.
Yeah.
For a certain amount of months, whatever.
Well, they've got, we've all seen them on the news, 5.5 for 11 to
High
12
yield
months.
savings.
Yeah.
For a high yield savings account is something we could do.
And they're very simple to set up, so.
And then the cash, isn't 100% tied up either. Not that I think we're pretty fluid right now, so the cash flow is looking pretty well. So, but you know, Tina, I don't know why we couldn't even reach out to him right away and ask that question.
Okay.
So I'll give you that information, and that might be an email that you want to shoot off, and then just share it with everybody on these emails. I know you guys are all paying attention to them, and you see the email shoot across, but sometimes if you just say, "Hey, cool, got it. Hey, it looks good," that helps. That I know that you guys are paying attention and that you're catching it. And one thing we're going to do tonight is get you set up on a Shorewood account on your phone. Real simple, so you'll catch these emails. And then that's separate from all your business. That's the way that I set it up. It's a totally separate email that will just come across your phone or whatever. Yeah, and I'll help you with that, or me and Matthew will help you set that up.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. So I think let's continue to see what we can do with that. What else you got, Tina?
That's it. We don't have anything. It's been quiet as well. We only have 2 bills this month, LJJ and East Central Energy, which I can pass down too. So it's been very quiet.
Okay. One thing I was going to ask is, and we brought this up. Do we have a real good solid audit or idea of where we are with assessments with the county on just the district side, people paying bills, and then what and where we're at with the assessments on the expansion?
No, but that's something that I should do that's part of what I need to do to get things in order for the expansion.
Yep.
So I need to go through and so I have a spreadsheet that Becky had provided me of the addresses and homeowners' names and all of that, but I would like to expand that and add on the information about, who's paid what, because I just got a question today from a realtor about Bozeman. Do you know where Bozeman's are?
No.
It was Dennis Carlson's property before on Lakeview Drive, apparently.
Well, somebody just moved in and bought that place, so.
Okay, well, this one is gonna close the end of the month. Now, this is a new one, he said. So he was asking about what assessments are coming and wanted to know about, because they're not hooked up to our sewer, they only pay a road fee right now. And he's like, if they want to.
Oh, I know exactly where that is. That's an open lot
Yes.
next to Gina's place, old place down there.
Okay. So he was asking about that, and I said, he said they've never been hooked up before, and I said, well, there would be, I said, if they're part of the expansion, because I didn't know exactly where it was.
They're not. There would be a SAC charge to hook up.
Okay.
And then we'd have to make sure, and within that SAC charge, I think that would cover his cost to come take a look at it.
Okay.
We'd have to get a design of what they decide how to hook up, because it's a fresh hookup.
Okay.
So we have to control where they hook up, how they hook up.
Any restoration involved, right?
Yeah, yeah, but depending on what happens to the pipe in the ground that they're gonna be hooking up to. You can pass my number on to them, and I can kinda help them with some of that stuff.
Okay.
And then, I suppose he's gonna wanna know, so they have some sort of plan to build there, I would imagine,
Okay.
cause it is an open lot.
All right.
But to get back to it, I think, yeah, we need to do a hard audit where everybody's at, I think. We need to get caught up, and I don't know, is that something you're gonna need help with, or?
No, it's just gonna be a matter of going on the county website and seeing, like,
Basically, what I did, when I
Yep.
gave you that
Yep.
big book. Okay. Well, and then basically see where the county is on their cycle of collecting. But we really do need to dial that in for the expansion side also.
yep.
Do you guys have people that don't pay? Curiosity.
Well, some people just let it go onto their taxes according to,
We, actually, this year we had, one of our families that was delinquent, they brought everything up to date, so that's good, so.
oh, nice.
Do you guys do a penalty for not?
We just increased it this year.
We did talk about that in our budget meeting.
It saves us a lot of cost.
Yeah.
They want $250 a quarter, $250 a quarter.
Yeah, we're not that high.
And it cut a lot of them.
Yeah, we're not that high, but we were only 1.5%.
Oh, yeah.
So people didn't care, you know, it was like, it's late, it's
Big
late.
deal.
Yep,
Well,
so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, anything else? Financially,
No, nothing.
paid electric bill, paid Terry.
I don't have an invoice from Terry yet, I just emailed Debbie tonight. And
Yeah,
she's-
she was headed home, I was just with her, and she was gonna go send it off to you anyways.
Yep, so, because we have our meeting earlier, so she hadn't sent it out yet, so,
Okay.
I'll just have in the minutes that we approved it and go from there. So it's the $1,700 that it is every month, so no change there.
Very good. Old business, expansion. I'll let Dean touch base on that.
Oh, I didn't get, I need a motion to approve the bills.
Oh, we do need a motion. My
I'll
fault.
make that motion.
Second.
Thank
All
you.
in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Old business, expansion.
We have a meeting Thursday at 6:30 in this building, and we're going to go over some of the updates that we have. I know that Tim Corby is supposedly working on the application for the federal grant. I haven't heard the updates. I did reach out to Unity Bank, Franson Bank, and Neighborhood Bank. And Franson Bank was looking for information. Sounds like they could be interested in doing temporary financing for us. Unity Bank just declined to work with us. It wasn't something they were interested in. And Neighborhood Bank never did get back to me. They had a change in personnel, so maybe there's a screw up there. But other than that, I don't have any other information.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on with the expansion. I think it's just gonna be get together and let them know that Tim did start working on that EPA loan. He did send over an 18-page form that has to be filled out, which will just give, I don't know why it's 18 pages, but there's a lot of questionnaires. It's just the sanitary district letting the EPA know that Tim Corby is doing the work with us. So that particular form came to me. I'm gonna share it with Chris Ziegler from MAP, and he's gonna help me fill that out.
Great.
So already, they're already moving some of the load off and bringing that over, so we'll bring that news to them also.
Wonderful.
Yep. All right, and then other than that, expansion, I think like we said, we're gonna start bringing that meeting here. Mailbox update. We briefly talked about it before the meeting, and I heard some chatter going on.
Yeah, so we haven't received notice that the address is officially ours yet, so I'm gonna call, her name is Sarah Wolf, over at the county, and see if there's a holdup. I doubt there is. I'm sure it's just an administrative thing that they haven't gotten to yet, or something fell through, and we'll get that pushed through.
Okay.
The address is ours. She did verify that. She just said, don't do anything official until you get this piece of paper that says it's yours.
Okay, all right.
So,
I suppose then we have to contact post office and set the box and still go down that route.
Yep, and we can choose where we want it. I think we want it on the opposite side of the street that the pump house is on, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I talked to Kathy Conley,
Oh, okay.
and she's going to talk to Julian and get back to me, and I'm sure it was just, I talked to her while she was walking her dog shadows.
Okay.
I'll touch base with her again. And
See if it's okay to
Yeah.
post there. All right.
Should we approve a cost for the number for the pump house? Do we want to do that?
Oh, you mean as far as buying a purchasing numbers?
Yeah, to number the house with?
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to buy a mailbox and we're gonna have to do all that other stuff.
Do that too then?
Do we wanna just put a budget together? And
Okay.
then, I mean, numbers aren't gonna be that expensive. I think we're gonna want something a little bit more permanent than a sticker.
Yeah.
I don't know, a mailbox is gonna get to be 150 to 200 by the time you put a post and do the work, I would imagine.
We want a lockbox, right?
Yeah, depending on the side, I don't know.
So we want a mailbox and a bill drop, right? So two separate,
Mhm.
because you can't do bill drops in the mailbox.
No.
Right?
No.
Right.
So we want a dual lockbox, mailbox. right? Or we were just gonna cut a hole in the building?
We were talking about just doing a slot in the building,
Yeah.
the mail slot, that would drop into a box.
Should we do that?
That would
Then
be-
we just need a letter
Yep.
door thing.
Does somebody wanna take on putting some numbers together on some mailboxes, and then we should, a couple different ideas? I mean, I know there's a couple guys that would go ahead and do some work around there, or deal with cutting a lockbox into the pump house, and then the mailbox would be separate, I think, is the way that we
Sure.
kinda wanted to approach it. But if somebody just wants to investigate how much it would cost to put a mailbox together, and then throw some sort of a number board on the pump house, and then we can do, you wanna go ahead and do that, Al? All right, that'd be cool. I'll give you the pass code key, how to get in there, and you can kinda look, and we can kinda talk about what we talked about. You know, basically just building a box on the inside with finding a lock, place people can drop information in there, so Al's gonna take that on. And then once we get that information, why don't we bring that, and then we'll approve a budget.
What's the plan?
Perfect. New business, accounting systems, QuickBooks.
Yes. So we discussed at our last meeting that we had made it was approved that we would transition to QuickBooks Online. So I have some information here about the 3 different options that they have and the monthly cost. So the Simple Start program would be $30 a month, but that limits us to only 1 user access, and there's limited reporting options. Plus program is $90 a month. This allows up to 5 users to have access, and it has a more robust service level with reporting, managing, and paying bills. And then the advanced program is $200 a month. This is, in my opinion, we don't need that. That's too much. It deals with more tax. It has 24/7 online training and support, and you still have online support with the other 3 programs, but you don't have the training that you would with advanced. We don't need that level of service. That would be too expensive, I think. My opinion is that we go with the plus option so that we have more than 1 user access, and that we have better options with reporting, and then hopefully bill pay down the line, so.
What's the delta between what we're paying and now?
Last year we paid, I wanna say it was, let me look. I can actually tell you, a second here.
Well, Tina's looking, I know I paid like $285 or something like that as a fee to pay one of my energy bills on Minnesota Energy, I think it is. So I think regardless of the increase, which it probably is going to be, I think that it wouldn't be a far cry for us to charge the bill payer, a 50-cent fee or to recoup some of that cost.
$583.02 is what our QuickBooks subscription was last year, which it is going up. I don't know the exact amount. I know it's over 600 this year though, to renew it. So,
And the end goal was to more convenience, getting bills, people to be able to pay online. That's what we're gonna be able to get with the QuickBooks. That's the big positive with this, right?
Yeah.
well, but they'll have a bill pay option
Right.
within the system.
Okay, all right.
So, and that we'd also have, the other goal was so that it's not just one person having access to it, so that for not succession planning, but essentially emergency planning, so that if something were to happen, if I was incapable of doing bills, whatever it may happen, that someone else could step in and have access to it. So, because right now, it's only on my one computer, and there's only one computer that can access it. This will allow you to access from any online, computer, you can access the system.
And if something would happen to that computer,
Yeah, I know,
that's the other positive too, is that this is all gonna be online and it's all
It's cloud-based. It's,
cloud-based and backed up
Yeah.
and everything, so.
So basically, it's just what we had budgeted. I think we budgeted more money for this anyways. We talked about doing that anyways, right?
We did, yep, but,
The cost is twice as much. Okay.
I do have one question. Can you update this or upgrade?
Yes.
What I'm thinking is, if we started off at the 30 and you got your work done, it might take a few months. And then, once you got yourself set up, switch to the 90, the plus?
I don't know, I'm assuming that you could, yes.
I'm just thinking, it would save a couple of months of the payment, but
Well,
other
right,
than that,
right now, if we sign up, the first 3 months are half price, so it would only be $45 a month for the plus.
oh, okay.
For the first 3 months of
There.
service.
Nice.
So,
Good answer.
there we go.
Do we need a motion to move on this?
Yes.
Where's the motion?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else? New business?
What would be the ETA on getting this set up, Tina, do you think?
I need to have it done by the end of February.
Oh, you do?
Yep,
So, okay,
yeah, so,
pretty
yeah.
quick.
exactly.
All right,
Because my access is done
Oh,
with regular
right.
QuickBooks,
because you have to
my
renew.
desktop, so I have to renew or I have to
Right.
Oh,
change.
okay.
So I'm gonna have to get it all done in the next 3 weeks here, so.
So for the people that are asking, because we did throw that out there, we're gonna start doing online pay, do we have, are we gonna say within the next half a year, we'll have that all ready to go, or is it gonna be in 2 months we can start
It
doing
would,
some?
I wouldn't be ready, I don't think, for the March bill, because I think we need to, I want to be able to test running bills on it first. That's my first goal, is to make sure that everything goes smoothly with printing bills and
Okay.
all, the data transfer goes well. Once I get that down, then in April, we can offer the ongoing billing option.
All right, so safe to say, let's say 3 to 4 months before we start
Yep.
taking a
Online payments.
online payment? Because a lot of questions have been coming in submissions. We've tossed
Yes.
that out there, and we've seen some, where can I start, when can I? So we'll just keep talking about it here, so people start hearing about it, and we'll put it in the minutes. I think the last thing on the list is the lawn mowing, and I think we talked about, we had a guest last week, Barb, about putting together some sort of a document about mowing the parks, and you produced that document?
Yeah, I put something together, I can read it quick.
Yep.
You guys want to hear it?
Yep.
It's public lawn care of Shorewood Park, 2 residents. Shorewood Park Sanitary District has approved funding for the maintenance of the Upper Central Park, Lower Central Park, and Shorewood Drive areas in Shorewood, and will be hiring a lawn service to maintain these areas starting in spring of 2024. The goal of this action is to maintain the park grounds on a regular basis and alleviate residents the responsibility of having to do so at their expense and labor, and to fairly distribute the care of this shared property evenly amongst all residents. Shorewood Park Sanitary District will not deviate from these central areas inside the circle of the road that encompasses the parks, and will maintain the roadside of Shorewood Drive starting at the intersection of Shorewood Circle on the west and north sides of the road, north to Highway 1. We recognize that some residents' property lines extend into these park areas, and we relinquish all property ownership to the deeded title owners of these areas, and will not attempt to execute eminent domain on any properties therein at any time. All deeded property shall remain in the ownership of the owners. Shorewood Park Sanitary District will maintain insurance responsibility for all maintenance personnel and incidents on all public areas. Signed. So I think that covers everything that she came to our meeting with concerns about.
You just said would be responsible for all public land?
And I can be more specific, for responsibility of all maintenance personnel and incident on all public areas.
I would say,
But
Or park
was she
areas.
concerned about her area also, was that?
and he did mention that.
Yeah, but
someone-
that final statement kind of.
I guess you kind of, it does kind of
I don't know.
weaken
It just got me.
what we're trying to do here.
And
And
when
we
you
just leave it out, leave that line out.
Why don't we just put personal and attached, or public and attached? Personal.
How about, we'll cover insurance responsibility on all grounds, public or
Yes.
owner
Yes.
titled.
Or just say,
Yeah.
to specify the area they're mowing or working on, then it's broad enough that it's covering her property going into that area.
Sure.
Just that maintained area will cover insurance on that maintained area.
Sure. Sure, I'll make that change. Any other suggestions? Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then that's just gonna be on the website.
I'll put that on the parks page, yep.
Okay, perfect.
We should sign that, so when I get the final draft, I'll bring it next meeting.
We'll sign it.
We'll all
So the
sign it.
property owner isn't a signee, just us?
I think it's, the main concern was us.
Yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
gonna try to take their
Right.
land.
Right,
And
yeah.
and I think that will be addressed.
There was something else. What was it? Oh, how do we want to deal with, goal? We talked
Oh,
about
right.
that. Yep.
Yeah, so we just discussed this, Tina, about the code of conduct paper that we all agreed to sign, or that the bylaws committee assigned each board member to sign on an annual basis. So I guess we'll have to print those off, codes of conduct. It's like a 2 or 3 sheet deal.
Okay.
And then next meeting, we'll just all sign them. We want to say something, like, we want to do a verbal confirmation. We could read the oath and the conflict of interest paper aloud, and we can all verbally agree to it tonight, or we can just wait till next month. I'm open to suggestions. That's what the bylaws committee suggested that we do. There's literally nothing that says that we have to do any of this. So it's not like we're doing something negative by not doing it or waiting till next month.
Why don't we just print it out, bring it on, we'll
Yeah.
sign them, and then we'll have those documentations.
Yeah.
we'll have the paperwork, so.
Yeah.
Very good. Any other business that anybody wants to talk about? With that, I'm looking for a motion to close the meeting.
First,